What's up, y'all? We back, man. First and foremost, let me give a shout out and a salute to any woman who may see this video. If you are a hardworking woman, if you're a woman of class, good character, you have a strong mind, you have a good upbringing, good background, you had good parents that instilled in you discipline and self-confidence, and if you are someone who has a balance, equal love for men and an equal love for women, salute to you. If you're someone who is just like a sexist and a pro-feminist, okay, I get it. Some women, even the ones that still love men and who don't tear down men, they would claim to be a feminist. So I don't want to be confused on who I am sending a shout out to, but I don't mind you being a feminist, just as long as you're not claiming to be a feminist at the expense of calling masculinity toxic. Masculinity in general is not toxic. There are a lot of masculine men who are toxic, just like there are a lot of feminine women who are toxic as well. So there's toxic femininity and masculinity. But I think the gender, the comparison between who's more toxic, it shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be the behavior of both sides, and I think we got to hold both sides accountable. I'm always holding masculinity accountable, even though on my videos I say, yeah, man, see, that's displaying toxic masculinity. But you'll see I have plenty of videos where I'm holding men accountable, especially men who look like myself, because I love my people and I want us to do better. And if we're not doing right, and if we have the wrong representatives for black men who are heterosexual, who are masculine, I'm going to say something. I'm going to speak on it. But I have the same feelings towards a woman who represents herself for most other women, but the message she's trying to put across, or the message she's putting out there, is that men are toxic and women, we should just act any kind of way and just be, wild and sexually active and seductive and inappropriate. We got kids, but we're gonna still act like we're children. That's the problem I have. And Brittany Renner represents some of the women out there who are the biggest problem in our society. I understand she is a mother. When she was on that podcast, I don't know who the main guys are of the podcast, but we do know that Charleston White was a guest on there, and we do know that former heavyweight champion Shannon the Cannon was there, but he was in the background, so he was not on the cameras. But Brittany Renner, she got a little heated and got a little extra. I don't know if she was intoxicated. I don't know if she was on some type of drug, coke or something, but she was acting very, very abnormally, and she was acting a little crazy, like she was possessed by something. Like, you would have thought it was a demonic spirit in her, the way she was acting. And then, to in one breath preach that you're a mom and you take things more serious and you value yourself more, but then in the next breath you're displaying overly sexual behavior. You're getting on top of Charleston White, twerking on him. You're opening your legs. Men these days have to be so confused with the agenda and the purpose and the wants that a woman really wants and needs from a man. Or we're trying to figure out, why is there an obsession with someone, or why Is it that some women have such an obsession with doing things to get attention, even if it means acting toxic and inappropriate, disrespectful? It's like, I feel like feminism of today is just training women to try to act masculine or aggressive around a group of men. Or if a man is trying to make a point about something and he's having a conversation with her, if she doesn't like it, instead of listening and then responding and giving her point, now this is not all now, but some of these women they would rather act out. They would rather make noise. They would rather scream. They would rather bend over, start twerking. They would rather start making weird noise, and I don't know, act like some demons rather than act like an adult and have a conversation. You can. It's okay to agree to disagree, but to not be logical and to just be on all emotions and anger and rage and hurt and bitterness and to create this demonic type of behavior to where you think that's okay. You think a man is supposed to respect that type of behavior that Brittany Renner displayed? We're in trouble in this country. Excuse me. We're really in trouble if most women support that type of behavior that Brittany Renner displayed. It's very uncomfortable, amongst men. It's been tough enough to get more men to respect women, because I will be the first one to advocate that men do need to respect women more. I don't support any man calling a woman out her name. I don't support any man that would tear down women and make it seem like all women are one particular way. But at the same time, it's hard for men in general to respect women in general when most of the women that we're seeing now, whether it's in the streets, the workplace, or even on the internet or TV, most of them now, they are all, not all, but a lot of them are acting a certain way. They're all on code to be a certain way or treat men a certain way or label men a certain way, which is not fair, because I think if all men put all women under one category and put them in one, just a label on them, then women will feel like men are not qualified to even for them to even give them the time of the day. But I think now it's shifted. Back in the day it was similar. Like, we had a group of the men who wanted to be the gentleman, love the woman, and take her out, hold the door open, write a love song, poetry, roses. But then you have the other ones who were a part of the industry, which the hip hop industry eventually started promoting toxic masculinity, where it was saying bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. And we know it's a percentage of women who are hoes and tricks, but that don't mean that all the women are that. So my point is the same thing with men. For women to try to make it seem like men are toxic or toxic masculinity or men are all one way, it's dumb to do that, because if we're going to be honest and technical, statistically, women do mature faster than men. Growing up as kids, girls are a lot more mature than boys. Girls are more mature than boys. But when it comes to adulthood, when it gets to becoming adults, I have seen, and I'm not saying this is I just have all these facts and these are the statistics, but if there was some type of experiment done, I'm pretty sure the numbers will show that the maturity level of a woman when she becomes an adult can decline, while the maturity of a man can increase. So usually young boys, young men, it's a struggle. It's going to take a while for men to mature, but once they mature, they're not really going to so much go backwards anymore. But I've seen a shift in at least 60% of the women. I mean, I would say 60 to 70% of women, they grow up so fast. You know, they be trying to mature, and they're growing up so fast, and they're already experiencing and probably losing their virginity early. I'm not saying all of them, but some of these girls want to grow up too fast, and they think they're too mature for their own good. And then once they start having babies and all this other stuff or whatever, they want to go back. They want to rewind time. So after they have a baby, they want to start acting like girls again, or their maturity turns into immaturity, and they start acting childish. And they start saying, "Hey, I want this, I want that. Give me this, give me that. If you can't give me this, then I ain't doing that." So it's a lot of work that needs to be done on both ends, men and women. But with the women need to stop embracing and uplifting toxic behavior amongst other women. Y'all need to start holding these women like Brittany Renner accountable for when they act like that, because she has a lot of influence, and she's influencing a lot of women to act just like her. Just like Amber Rose had a lot of influence on women, Megan Thee Stallion, the City Girls, all of these women who are in the industry or well known in the internet, they call masculinity toxic, but I see nothing but toxic femininity, really, and attacks on men, while nobody is holding these women accountable for their behavior and how they act towards men. So women, if you want more respect from men, you're going to have to start respecting yourself more. Men won't respect women until women respect themselves.